Hi everyone, and welcome to SWPL My Story. And today we've got something different for you. So we have content creator Lindsay Hamilton from Glasgow Football Tours. Welcome, Lindsay. How are you?
Oh yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Good wee morning, we walk with a dog. I'm feeling rejuvenated. We day off, can't beat it.
Great stuff. So yeah, it's I've seen your socials. That's what prompted me to reach out to you. I think the stuff that you're bringing out is absolutely brilliant. So relatable to us in this country, and you're learning so much. Somebody today like me who thinks they know everything about football inside out, and I'm seeing things that I didn't know. And we were just speaking off camera. I'm coming on your tour. Can't wait for that. I'm really looking forward to it. So just to kind of kick us off, and for the viewers and the listeners, you just kind of recap how you started, what it is that you do, and everything that entails.
Yeah, so I started 5 years ago. And the story it's genuinely true. Like I was really low, just mentally not feeling great. And it was a strange time because I had a really good job. I worked at Hampden. First of all, the two jobs, I was a tour guide at the Scottish Football Museum and fell in love with tour guiding. I never had considered it as a job before. I don't know why. I think you just kind of grow up going, I'll work in an office like everybody else that I know. And then I came across it because I did my dissertation at Stirling. And I went to the museum to use some of the resources and to chat to a couple of the guides and stuff there. And then I was like, I can't believe you get to do this. You basically just get to talk football all day long to different tourists. Like, and I just fell in love with the place. I'm still in love with the place. It's one of, if I ever need an escape for the day, Scottish Football Museum, like just to clear the head. It's just one of my, it's just a happy wee place. And then, so through that, they couldn't offer me a full time job. So I was like a kind of 0 hour contract, but they did give me a lot of hours to, in fairness to them. So it was more part time than anything else. And then, um, I was also working up the stairs at a heritage project. So basically, my job, it would be a dream to anybody else, but to me, I just really struggled with it. I dream to anybody else because I had my own office block. So I didn't have Susan munching on a sandwich in the background or like, or somebody munching away at crisps or what. Like, it was literally just myself. And anytime I would mess with my mates, just being like, oh man, I'm not feeling good. I'm like, I really enjoy the work. I really enjoy the job. Basically, I got to scan old sports images like golf, shinty, cricket, rugby, football, all day long. Like old Lisbon Lion photos, Barcelona Bears, like all of them submitting anything right under the sun. So I was getting all that content, but I was in my own office block. I could go full days without talking to people. And the whole time I was in the office, I was like, I just need to find out how to be a tour guide. Like, I need to make that a thing because I'm quickly going off a ledge here. Like, I was depressed. And I just get hit between the eyes one day. I was sitting in the office and I was like, Glasgow football tour. And I ran. It was 3 yards away from me, the printer, but I'm like, I skated to the printer, grabbed spare paper out the printer and just was like, right, Glasgow football tour. Right, that's the name. What am I going to need? A website, insurance, some sort of booking site, TripAdvisor. Like I was just writing all of these things that you think I'll need this to go and start it. And I went up the road and I said to my mum, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do a football tour of Glasgow. And she went, that's brilliant. You'll be good at that. Go and do it. And that's us 5 years down the line. With COVID in the middle of that as well. So I always say kind of 3 years, but um, COVID, we still kind of made it work. We had my, my brother, bless him, was outside Hampden with me. We went and did virtual tours around Hampden Park. Just the third one, not the full three Booner, but just the third Hampden, the current one. So he told the camera while I was talking away to folk on Zoom, and we get people from everywhere, like everywhere. Ireland, Australia, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, because it just gave them this chance. Just zoom in for the day. It was recorded, so if the time difference was different, they could go in at any time and just like watch it. But currently, obviously, we're out of COVID, which is great. Currently, we offer the three Hamdens walking tour. So much to everybody's surprise, there are three Hampden Parks. We built three national stadiums before Wembley was even built. Just one way that we like to tell folk that Scotland invented this game and not England. And if you want to know more about that story, that's the tour you want to be on because honestly, it gives you all the arsenal to tell the world how Scotland absolutely invented the modern game of football. and took it around the world and exported it in every single corner to world champions. Argentina was a Scotsman at the very, very core of that. And then we do, over the winter period, we've started a sub crawl tour, which is the story about the birth of international football, which of course the first ever international game was at Partick in the West of Scotland Cricket Club. So we do visit that site, but we visit two more before it and then two more after it, explaining the who, the what, and the why. And it's a great tour because it's like a what would you have done tour, because there's options in this. Because Queen's Park, who for me, I'm not a Queen's Park fan, but they are the single most important football club in the world. I don't care about your Real Madrids and whoever else. They genuinely are instrumental to everything that we enjoy now. Cup competitions, international competitions, the structure of the game, penalties, free kicks, half times, not penalties, sorry, the crossbar, the free kick, the half time break, all of that. And basically they risked everything to host the first international game. They could have went bust if it never came off. And so the story is like, would you take the risk? Would you risk it all? Or would you go with the safe option? And obviously, we're not going to leave you if you go, no, I'm going to play it safely. Right, okay, you stay here. We're going to go to the next stop. Obviously, we follow the journey with you, but it's just great. And you get a chance on that to have a wee drink as well if you want. And there's free pies. So if there's any reason to go on a football tour, free pies and they're the best at the West of Scotland Cricket Club. I don't know why you wouldn't do it, but that's the two tours for the moment. We did start off with a driven tour, but the cost at the minute is just it's too high. And I think with COVID, I know we're well out of it, but I still think people they're still wanting to get out, stretch the legs. It's just a healthy way to kind of get about the city. And I think it's always better to walk because you've probably, especially on the Three Hamdens tour, anybody that's been to Hamden, you'll have walked past these sites a million times, and I promise you won't know a quarter of the stuff that we tell you. Like it's like honestly, it would blow your mind. It's class.
That's brilliant, Lindsay. And after hearing that, if people are watching that, I guarantee you they're going to be looking into you and
Fingers
right,
crossed.
finding out how to get involved. So just off the back of that, so how do people get involved if they want to come along? What's the best way of booking?
So it's just on the website, so www.glasgowfootballtour.com. Big book now button, you've got the three options there. There's another one that's As the Willow Vanishes Tour, but we tend to do that as a one-off throughout the year. That's the relationship between football and cricket, which a lot of people will be like, what are you talking about? But genuinely, it's huge. Again, you wouldn't have a Scooby about it, but it's massive. But I just on the website, or if you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you'll get it on there, Twitter as well. So I think Facebook and Instagram we're at Glasgow Football Tour, and then the Twitter is at GLA Football Tour because you can only have so many characters and all that. And I'm not paying for the blue tick or the blue X or whatever it is now. I'm not paying for it, but yeah, we're just on there, and you'll find loads of content, including like our YouTube stuff, which is the Football Makes Glasgow, and our own podcast as well, which is the Football Makes Glasgow. And just involve yourself in all this. Like it's heritage at the end of the day, and it's not. We are not like gatekeepers of this history. Like this is everybody's story. Everybody. This is everybody in the world's football story, and we just want folk to come along and enjoy it and recognise it and understand like how instrumental Scotland was as a nation. And we just don't really get enough credit. And I think maybe if we'd been a more successful national side, men's and women's, it probably would be more out there, more common knowledge. But the great thing about this is that our national sides are quite healthy at the minute. They're doing a lot better than they were in the past. So it's given us a greater opportunity to tell this story. And it's just about a buzz about it at the minute. I think it's kind of started at the right time, and everything kind of seems on the up. So it's exciting.
So obviously I've been looking through your content and watching your stuff, and something that you've done as well is doing some not tours abroad, but you've been vlogging when you've been away. You've been to some
Yeah.
incredible places. It'd be great to hear a little bit about that and some of the fantastic places you've been and stories you've learned.
Yeah, so my dream job, like I've said for years, I want to be like the Joanna Lumley of the footballing world. You know that way the BBC or ITV just pay Joanna Lumley just to go somewhere and she gets paid to just kick about and just take videos and stuff. Like that or probably the Susan Calman. I feel like I'd be more of a Susan Calman version to be fair. They just hunker in her caravan and off she goes around Scotland or Ireland or whatever. I'm like, that's the dream. I just love traveling. I love meeting people, football people in particular. I feel like, well, my experience so far, anytime I've gone away and I'll say, you'll saw you Scotia, I'm from Scotland. Typically, I've been to Spain a lot of the time recently. They just treat you like an absolute like king and queen. Like they just love to be around you. They want to know what team you support. Glasgow Celtic, Glasgow the Rangers, blah blah. And if they know part of us, so if they know Queen's Park, it just adds to it. But the best one we did, I keep having to kick myself now that it was that long ago because it only seemed like last year, but it was 2 years ago, I think now. We went to Argentina, me and my big mate Sean, my best pal. We'd came out of lockdown, we'd saved money, couldn't get a flat. We were looking about, not like together individually, we were trying to see if we can move out. The prices were just through the roof. We're like, do you know what? See the money we've saved, let's just go on a big holiday. And we went to Argentina for 10 days. I think we saw 6 games and the friendships. I still, every day, we're in a group chat with two friends over there we met from the supporters of Gymnasia, which was the last team that Maradona managed. And we went to a game with them there. It was the only game we went to actually that we lost. We lost 1-0 and we were gutted because these friendships have literally lasted. We talk to them every single day on WhatsApp in Spanish and English because we're trying to learn the language for going back over. We already have plans to go over next year, fingers crossed. Probably would have done it this year, and then the men's team qualified for Germany, so all my savings are out the window. Getting flights and accommodation for Germany. But so 2025 is the aim, and I'd love to go like to Brazil and Uruguay and stuff, hopefully as well, and expand it a bit more. But like when I say these people, it's not a cliche. Like live, breathe football. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's just a living, breathing like entity. These people would die for their football clubs, like on the spot. If it meant they would win that game of football that day, they'd stand and I don't know, just take me, sign, sacrifice a body. They are honestly just mental for the game over there, and they have a massive respect for Scotland and what we've got in the country. This season alone, Rosario Central, which is the first association football club in Rosario where Messi was born, went to Messi's house as well. Oh my God, could have cried. I probably did actually cry. I was practically licking the pavements and the lampposts and everything else that was round about his childhood home. Which the family still own, by the way, which was quite a cool wee thing. But Rosario Central, sorry, are the first association football club in the city he was born. Now he never played for them. His team was New Elves with the red and the black, but that was founded by a Scotsman from Dingwall, Colin Calder-Bain. And my mate Juan took us to Rosario to Messi's house, and he left us that day. He was like, "Right, I need to go back to work. I'm going to leave you with the Rosario Central fans." And they had this poster for us. I don't have it here because I took it to Dingwall. They asked me to take it to the museum in Dingwall, and it was Colin Calder-Bain, and it was like this whole thing with the club crest and all that on it. And I ended up in like the Dingwall press or something because I took it up to the museum and we got a photo and all that. But they do pilgrimages back and forth when they can to go to the museum and to pay homage to the guy that set up their football club. And they just the whole day, like I am not at all, like I am a scheme bird for Glasgow. I literally grew up in the mountain. And they were like, a Scotia, photo. And I'm like, why? Why do you want a selfie with me, mate? Like, I am literally just a wee dafty from Glasgow that runs football tours, but they just have a massive respect for it. So this season, Rosario Central, sorry, I've digressed a wee bit, but they've got a saltire shirt
Yeah.
for this season as like an anniversary kit. And the ball in Argentina this year has nods to Alexander Watson Hutton and like the Scotland connection, which is just incredible. Like they know more about what our nation's done for football than folk here do, which is a catch-22 because it keeps me in a job. The fact that folk over here don't know it because it means they come on tour, but it's just almost sickening that we don't know this stuff, and it should have been known and spoke about and bigged up a long time ago. And I think it's only now. I think if you'd asked somebody like in a pub 10 years ago or whatever, who invented football? A Scottish guy, like Scotland, but they wouldn't know the who, the what, the when, and the why. And that's basically what the tours are. And when I'm travelling around, my aim is always, I can't always do it, but I do always try and find a Scottish connection somewhere. So was in Ibar recently. They have a supporters group called Scotia La Brava, Scotland the Brave, because they have a love for the Scotland rugby supporters who just would not give up on their team even when they were losing. They just love the attitude towards it. Like that's amazing. It's just this tiny team in the Basque Country, and they love Scotland. They've all got saltires and like their wee hats and all the rest of it, pin badges and all that sort of stuff. And then recently we were in again with Big Sean, my big travel buddy, best mates for I don't know 20 odd years or something now. He's a big NFL fan, so we went to Frankfurt for the Chiefs versus the Dolphins. We were at Frankfurt Stadium, so I've not put it together yet, but Rangers and Frankfurt have a wee history together, so I'm going to be putting that together. And it's just stuff like that, and you always find folk round about when you say to them where you're from, they want to talk about it, and they talk about their teams, and they tell you little bits, and I, I just love it. I don't think you can beat travel. I think it's honestly one of the best educations you'll ever get. In terms of just being streetwise, meeting people, learning languages, food, all of it, like just different ways of living. So yeah, I would love to be just a traveller for a living, a YouTube travel vlogger slash somebody at the BBC hire me and just send me anywhere on a plane would be ideal. If anybody hears this, that would be class. But yeah, the Joanna Lumley of the footballing world, that's the glory and the dream. That's what I want. But I don't know if I'll get it. I'll stick with the tour guide for the minute, and we'll see where it takes us. But yeah.
That all sounds great, Lindsay. So just obviously for what we do in SWPL, my story, and specifically on the women's game. Obviously, I see your post there was Riley behind you. So is that something that obviously as the game's continuing to grow, but there's a whole history of the women's game about it being banned for a long period of time. In fact, just recently there was a few former players were presented with their caps, which they should have got at the time because they were
Yep.
playing technically illegal internationals.
Yeah.
So is that something that you think you could bring to life, obviously with the growth and the interest in the game here in this country and abroad?
Yeah, again, there's a big gap in knowledge. Actually, I take that back. There's not a gap. There's a lot of my own friends, Dr. Fiona Skillen, Dr. Karen. Oh my God, what's Karen's surname? Karen's surname's going out of my head. That's shocking. But they have the knowledge. It's about getting it out there and how we do it. And we're only catching up now. As you say, the caps were kind of awarded a back date of them to get through. And it's great that they're being recognised now, but there's also just that massive pity that they weren't at the time. And it's just big obstacles that we've had to go through. I'm loving that there's a massive shift in that. I still, to this, honestly, I don't know if it's naivety on my part, but I never envisioned in my lifetime seeing the national women's team playing at Hampden. I never saw Celtic women, Rangers, Glasgow City like turning professional, the SWPL becoming what it is now. Sports scene taking over the highlights for all the clubs like across the division. But honestly, never saw it. And it's just going to grow and grow and grow, and that's class. If we do it right, you look down at England as the kind of model for it tonight. Just now, sorry, we all know that. The crowds that they're getting. Was it Crystal Palace or something the other day? I can't remember which club it was, but they absolutely smashed an attendance record, and I just thought this is what we're aiming for. And one of my big highlights, two big highlights for football last season were, in fact, was that this season? Oh my God, my memory's shocking. Um, the Glasgow City Champions League game against the club from Norway, which the name's now escaping me. That was brilliant, man. The fans they brought to Petershill, I know they lost the game, but the the fans that they brought over were just brilliant, man. Brought lots of noise. They drank in my local pub in Chevy's. So at Shevlin's, if you ever want to find me, when Chevy's. But because we did we go to the pub a couple of days after, and I was talking about the game. I was up Peter's Hill the other night. It was like the Lassies, they didn't do too well, blah blah. And the boy behind the bar was like, they were all in here after the game, man. He was like, we made a killing that night because they'd all came before and after the game. And I was like, I love that, man. Like they're just coming down, having a good time, going to the game, brilliant. And then the other one was the Celtic women's game at Celtic Park, where they broke the attendance record again.
Yeah.
I cannot stress enough that I never thought I'd see anything like it. Like I can't believe I'm just about to turn 30 this year and I've seen it. It's happening and it's happening in front of my eyes. It's brilliant and it's stuff that I can only imagine in 30, 40 years' time, we weirdos like me that like to take history tours or learn about history or whatever are going to be asking us the questions. What was that like? What was that like to see it all develop and grow? Because we're in the middle of it. This is literally the history is unfolding right in front of us. It's changing again. We've came a very, very long way from the ban. Not long enough, I suppose, in many aspects, but we've came a mighty long way and we should be very, very proud of it. And it's just about keep pushing because we all know the odd numpty Joey Barton that don't agree with maybe what's going on and stick to your lane and all the rest of it. I've had umpteen things on socials, umpteen of the SWPL players, I'm sure would have had the same guff. You've just got to keep fighting the good fight, man. Honestly, like just keep your head down, keep working, and just play. The fact that they're rolling out pro contracts, playing in the Champions League. I know City have been doing it a long time, but Celtic, Rangers going to be getting into that likely this season. It's just an exciting time, and I think it can only go further. And the Scottish Cup final as well, being at Hampden Park last year, it was another massive highlight, and again something I never thought I'd see. And I just want to sit back and enjoy watching it getting like bigger and better. I'm hoping actually to get to the one this season with the Jags and
Yeah,
actually is that the Sky Sports Cup? That's not the Scottish Cup,
yeah,
is
it's at Tynecastle, 24th of March.
Aye, Tynecastle this year.
Yeah.
No, I've seen that. Which actually I was at Tynecastle a few seasons ago for one of the finals as well. So it'll be really good. I'm hoping that I'm not working that weekend, and I can go and see. Even though neither one of them are my club, but I suppose it'll just be good to see it, and it's good to support these things. I think it doesn't matter at this point really. Your team. I think it's just about getting behind them. I've been to the odd Glasgow City game again. It's not my team, but if I get the time off, I'll go. Because it's good football and it's just great. And I think it's the way football should be. I've got a real passion for the juniors because I can take the dog. He now and again gets free pies. I don't get free pies, but they see him and they go, "Oh my god, he's a Dalmatian," and they'll give him a free pie, and he loves it. Our local ones, Kepical Road, Glasgow Perthshire, black and white Doug. He's the unofficial mascot. But it gives me the same vibe. It's the same, low cost to get in, low cost for food, family friendly, dog friendly, just a nice atmosphere about the place, and you can just enjoy the game and enjoy the football. And I think that in itself is its own unique selling point. If you want to get back to the real bones of football and what it's about, and not feel like a wee fish in a big almighty tank at a big Celtic Park or a big Ibrox or whatever. Like the women's game, it's got heart, man. It's got soul. It's so good just to clear the head, be there for a couple of hours, get a tea for £1, which is I love tea, I'm a bit obsessed, and just enjoy the game. I think it can only go from strength to strength. I'm really excited about it, and I'm so glad that I'm here to see it. Because honestly, I know it sounds mad and naive at this point. I get it, but I came out of football. I don't even know how long ago that was. You don't know. 4 years ago, 3 years ago, don't know. And I would never have envisioned all this. And this is somebody who's involved in
Yeah.
football, different capacities. Never saw it, and it's just class to see it. And absolutely like buzzing for all the lasses that stuck it out. Kept playing when others probably didn't because they didn't see a future in it. And now they're reaping the rewards as they should. And I'm made up for them. It's class and it's class to watch, and it's just good to sit back and enjoy it.
That's great, Lindsay. I've genuinely really enjoyed listening to you. As we spoke before we came on, I am coming on one of your tours. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I can't stress enough to the viewers and the listeners, please go on, give them a follow on Instagram, Twitter, any social medias. Go and watch the content on YouTube. It is really it's inspiring to a degree because you can see where the global game came from and how much Scotland had an impact on it. But it's also so interesting. As you say, you walk past some of these places. I've been to Hampden a million times, and there's definitely stuff that I've missed when I've been there. So no, thanks so much, Lindsay, for coming on. I really enjoyed it.
No, thanks, mate. I was buzzing when you reached out, so thank you very much. And I keep up the good work, man, because I'm enjoying the page as well. So it's what it's all about. The more stories you can share, the more folk we get engaged, the bigger it goes. So that's the hope in it. That's the dream. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks again. And thanks everyone for joining us on SWPL My Story. Perfect. Bye.